Hello guys, welcome back with me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. History shows that volatility in AMD stock is no surprise. Recent development have sparked investors, but a rebound seems likely. And now, 29 of last year, Advanced Micro Device stock set an all-time closing high of since then, shares have lost more than half of their value. That fact alone doesn't make AMD a buy here. The stock has seen a great deal of volatility during its history, though admittedly not usually at quite this speed. Investor sentiment toward the semiconductor sector and the market as a whole has weakened. For reasons that have some logic, shares are cheaper but not necessarily cheap in the context of the sector. But at this lower price, AMD stock does look exceptionally attractive. This is a company that has executed an incredible turnaround. A long-running roller coaster. Advanced Micro Device went public almost 50 years ago, raising 7% million through the sale of shares at $27. Over that stretch, AMD had turned it 10% on an annualized basis, but the gains have been anything but consistent. In the 1980s, for instance, AMD went from under 4% to over 20%, only to close decade back below 4% shares eroding during the dot-com boom, only to collapse. They roared again during the mid-100 bull market peaking. A rally from those low footed, AMD was removed from the S&P 500 index because its market capitalization was too low. By early 2016, the stock was below 2% and bankruptcy was a legitimate possibility. AMD was a weak rival to Intel, which dominated the personal computer market, but PC sales were at risk of decline amid smartphone adoption. AMD closed 2015 with $2 billion in debt, and that year posed an adjusted operating loss of $153 million, with revenue plunging 28% year over year. Just gross margin were just 28%. But AMD had named Lisa Su Chief Executive Officer in late 2015, and Su world oversees an incredible turnaround. The launch of Ryzen and EPYC chips made AMD a legitimate rival to Intel. AMD returned to the S&P 500 in 2017. It was the best performing stock in the index in both 2018 and 2019. At last year's peak, AMD had gained nearly 100 from February 2016 lows. AMD tumbles. In other words, volatility is part of AMD package. In some cases, the big decline have made some sense. The verse that drove investors to sell the stock in the first half of the 2010, for instance, where real PC sales did stagnate, AMD was far behind Intel, and so was Global Foundries, the company actually producing the chip. This time around, their risks semiconductor are notoriously classical business, another reason for the historical volatility in MED, and it's possible a cyclical downturn is on the way. For years, demand in and markets like gaming, automotive, data centers, and even PC may well have been higher than usual. AMD impressive growth to some extent has been driven by that elevated demand. If demand weakens, so will AMD result. Last week, investors were again spooked by an earnings miss from rival then both NVIDIA and MED that the U.S. government had pressed recension on the company's artificial intelligence chips. AMD dropped another 12% for the week. The stock history alone shows why investors might be nervous that the decline will continue. A better company. But the bull case for AMD is simple. This is not the company it once was. Again, just 6 years ago, AMD was heavily reliant on personal computers, and on being the lower cost, lower performance options in that market. Maybe that's all from me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.